Hello and welcome to Two Crones and a Microphone. This is Linda, and we are here for a recap conversation with our dear friend and spiritual sister, Lupo Passero. You might have been lucky enough to listen to the interview that we did with Lupo in June in 2024. And in that time, it was podcast number 37. And we had such a great conversation about herbalism, the importance of herbalism in the community, and your wonderful school, Lupo. And let me just say one other thing, which is besides loving you and having studied with you and been with you for years now, I want to introduce you properly. So it's ritual herbalist, green witch, wayfinder, and educator in the queen phase of her life. And Lupo is founder of TwinStar Herbal Education and TwinStar Travel, both based in Asheville, North Carolina, and New Milford, Connecticut. And she's just an amazing person who has done so much. But, there has been a big change up since the time that we interviewed you. And so I want to invite everyone to listen carefully because this is a call to action. We want to make you aware of the situation in Asheville, North Carolina. Lupo has so much knowledge and wisdom and has contributed so much and given so much back to that community after its impact with Hurricane Helene. Lupo, hi.
Hi, Linda. Thank you so much for having me. I'm always happy to sit and talk with you. So I really appreciate you inviting me on again.
Yeah, of course. Well, there's been such a big change up, such a big impact. And I think many of our listeners aren't aware of all the impact on the ground because, of course, the news feeds may not always reach us.
Yeah, we have really suffered quite a lot here in Western North Carolina and Eastern Tennessee. And one of the ways to make differentiate what's happening is it's not just Asheville. Asheville is the largest city in the location that was impacted.
Yeah.
But Hurricane Helene came through and not only devastated, but decimated over 25 counties in Western North Carolina and in Eastern Tennessee. That's 25 counties. I don't know how many towns that is, but it's
Yeah.
far too many.
Yeah.
And the level of destruction is, there's no other word for it except for unbelievable. And it has impacted millions of people, and it has changed our entire landscape here.
Mm.
These mountains are the oldest in the world, the Appalachian Mountains, and the French Broad River, which is the river that runs through Asheville and throughout Western North Carolina, is the third oldest river in the world. So these are ancient waters that flooded 27 feet above floodplain.
Oh my gosh.
The amount of water that moved through our area was greater than the velocity of Niagara Falls.
Oh my gosh. I
And
don't know
that,
that we got that information. It-
yeah. It's unbelievable. It's truly unbelievable. Like entire areas are wiped off the map. I keep explaining to people that things are gone, and I'm not quite sure that they understand the concept of gone, but literally and figuratively, no longer where they once were, washed down the river, people's homes, businesses, cars, family members, completely gone and no longer here, no longer standing. And the amount of devastation is, again, it's just unbelievable. So we are in a really precarious time, and it's been over 2 months since the hurricane came through.
yes.
And we've had a tremendous amount of humanitarian support and aid.
Yes.
And in some ways, especially around the holidays, that hopefully will continue. But that's been our main type of support, just folks coming in from other parts of the country to help us as much as they can, to feed us, to help rebuild housing. But it is very complicated. You're talking about an enormous population that have all been directly impacted, and
Yeah.
just so many people trying to put their lives back together.
Yeah, well, we're more than 2 months out. And you said to me before when we were talking a little bit earlier, you just got water back. You
We
were,
just got water back about a week ago. The original date was December 15th, and then suddenly we had water 3 days later, which in some ways is a beautiful thing, and in other ways I feel a little skeptical.
mm.
We're grateful to have water, and it was really difficult to go for as long as we had to go without power and then without water on top of that. We do have running water in all areas for the most part, all of the larger impacted areas.
You didn't bring it up, but I want to bring up something important, which is to know that the TwinStar tribe, the TwinStar area that where you were housing your classes and all your work was literally swept away.
hmm Yeah, our classroom here in Asheville was located in what's known as the River Arts District, which was
Hmm.
probably one of the coolest places in the entire country. Thousands of artists that took over these old factory buildings down by
Oh,
the river, thousands and thousands of artists and beautiful galleries. And we were lucky enough to be part of the art garden and have a studio. We were on the second floor,
mm.
and the floodwaters came up 8 feet on our second floor of our classroom and destroyed everything.
Oh my.
Everything was destroyed. And that's true for so many businesses and so many towns throughout this entire area, just completely demolished and wiped away. And we all know the power of water, even if you just have like a
Yes.
small like leak in your house or like a small flood or something, like how powerful water is. And this is
Yes.
the level of destruction is really insurmountable. And so our classroom was destroyed along with many, many, many other artist studios and classrooms and
Yes.
bakeries and restaurants and
Mm.
pottery studios. And it really was the heart of Asheville. It was where the artists were.
Yeah.
So that has been wiped off the map, and it's devastating. It's just such a huge and enormous loss for this community.
Yeah. Well, I want to bring something up now because I want to make sure that we say this several times. There are ways that our listeners can help. It's the holidays. I don't know about you, but for me, I always make a holiday donation or two or three because it's part of what I like to do is give back. And this is just such a good place to start. So for TwinStar, what are the ways that people can engage and help?
Well, for TwinStar specifically, we do have a campaign to help rebuild our classroom and help us find a new location. We're hoping to have a new location by spring of 2025.
Okay.
So we have a fundraiser on our website. And also, we created at the very beginning of this devastation what we call the Appalachian Herb Collective, which is a
Thank you.
mutual herbal aid group of individuals that came together at the very beginning and said, how can we help? How can we best help? And so we have a fundraiser for the Appalachian Herb Collective as well. And all of those donations will go directly to supporting the work that we're doing. We were able to set up over 15 mutual aid hubs in North Carolina and in Eastern Tennessee, and we provide tens of thousands of dollars worth of herbal remedies and products, supplements,
Wow.
stress, sleep, flower essences, immune care. It's just free herbal medicine. It's a large amount of free herbal medicine, and it's been a powerful project to be a part of, and it's been really wonderful to see how many people have supported us. And now that the winter months are coming, and well, they're here. It's very cold here. It's 30 degrees today. So we're having to move a lot of our efforts indoors and having to pay for rent and find places that we can continue to offer our services. So that's a great way to donate as well. Then to the community at large, like I'm with you, Linda. I try to adopt a family every year, or I try
Yes.
to make sure that a large part of my holiday spending goes to help those that are less fortunate. So in this
Yeah.
area in Appalachia, I mean, it's not hard to find somebody that needs help. There's lots of great organizations out there that are doing really great work. You could also just go on to any of the fundraising campaigns and just search Helene, and you will find families that are asking for help and asking for money. And it's really important that folks understand that when you lost everything, you've lost everything. And to
Yeah.
rebuild takes fiscal power. And it takes real
Sure.
donations of things that we need, folks that they may need specific size clothing for their children. They may need tires for their vehicle to get to work. And there's lots of different ways and avenues that you can reach folks directly in this area to make sure that they're getting the help that they need this holiday season.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Well, I want to mention too, one of my favorite ways to engage with TwinStar is through coursework. And herbalism is dear to both of our hearts, and it's especially impactful now, in this kind of situation. Let's lean into it. So there are wonderful classes at TwinStar. Do you want to talk about those for a moment?
Yeah, sure. So we had to cancel all of our classes, in-person classes through the
Yeah.
rest of the year and into the throughout the winter because we do not any longer have an indoor location to host places. So all of our classes right now are online or traveling with us outside of the country. We have an enormous array of amazing classes from foundations of herbalism to the art of flower essence therapy. We have a beautiful class called Goddess Within Us with Linda. And all of our courses are 20% off right now. And all of that money keeps us going. It keeps us moving forward and it'll help get us through the winter. So it's a great time to take online classes through those winter
Yes.
months so you can study and learn. And more importantly, if, Helene has taught me anything, well, two things really, but one is that reminded me once again the importance of resiliency, the importance of
Yes.
understanding the plants that grow outside, the importance of knowing
Yes.
how to make your own medicine, the importance of knowing how to grow your own herbs and food.
Yes.
And I think that I always say there's never a better time to become an herbalist than now, but I'm just going to keep saying that because
Sure.
we need these skills and they've been so imperative to our community that's lost everything. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, and it's been really quite something. The other thing that I learned during this, and I just want to share this with your listeners, is that, Linda, you and I were together in the same neck of the woods during COVID.
Yes.
And I want to say, like, I personally lost faith in humanity during COVID because there was all of this hoarding going on and people having to buy every last thing of hand sanitizer and toilet paper. And a large part of that was, because that's what we were being told what to do. And here in Western North Carolina, we had very little help come in. And the resiliency and the humanitarian efforts that have happened here have completely restored my faith in humanity,
Wow.
watching neighbors helping neighbors and making sure that everybody is taken care of. It's really been a beautiful thing, and
Yes.
oftentimes out of destruction and out of great tragedy also comes the reflection of great love and great beauty. We saw that with Sandy Hook, which is where
Yes.
my mutual aid work began.
Yes.
And so it's been a beautiful thing to witness the beauty and the love that's coming out of this. And we couldn't do it without support from folks like your listeners and folks that are dialed into what's happening here. Like we wouldn't be surviving if it wasn't for the generosity of strangers and fellow human beings.
Yeah. Lupo, thank you. I personally plan to donate to both the collective and Twin Star Rebuild, and I want to incentivize our listeners to do the same. We will be sure to have links that we'll post with this that will refer you to those two options and also Twin Star Tribe. And what's the website for Twin Star?
TwinStar is twinstartribe.com.
Thank you.
And then Appalachian Herb Collective is appalachianherbcollective.net.
Okay.
And both of those places, you'll find plenty of resources and places to donate or sign up for classes.
That's great. This has been so enlightening. I had no idea. I know when we were talking a little bit earlier, you said you think it's going to take the better part of a decade to truly rebuild with this level of devastation.
I don't see how it couldn't. Our bridges are gone, our roads are gone, our buildings are gone, gone. So yes, I do think that it's going to take a very long time, and this is just the beginning of a very long and difficult road ahead. And just grateful for everybody that continues to support us. Incredibly
Yes.
grateful to all the herbalists in this area. There's so many
Yes.
herbalists in this part of the country because we have more medicinal plants here than anywhere else in the country. And so we have a lot of herbalists here, and they have all come together to work so hard and diligently to make sure that folks in our community are getting the proper herbal care that they need. And it's going to be devastating for a long time. These mountains, they say we lost anywhere from 40 to 60% of our trees in
Oh
our
my
forests.
gosh.
Devastation is massive. And I'm just so grateful that you asked me to come on and have an opportunity to share because I feel like we've gotten so used to tragedies as a culture. It's just like one after the other, and whatever comes up on your news feed. This one is pretty significant. They're calling it a geological event, not a
Wow.
natural event, a geological event. We had over 1,200 landslides. So it's massive, and we need all the help we can get. And so grateful for those of you that have supported us on this journey so far, and super grateful to you, Linda, and the ladies at Three Crones and a Microphone for letting me share today.
Oh, absolutely. Is there anything else you'd like to add before we wrap up?
I just want to reiterate that the power of the one heart, the power of that place within all of us that can empathize with other people's suffering, that can
Yeah.
empathize for what it is for our kids to be hungry or to be cold,
Yeah.
and give thanks for that part of ourselves that no matter how different we may be in any other arena, politically, religion, whatever, that we have this one heart, this place right here that we can all connect, and that we are all one, and that we are all one family, and that humanity as a whole is beautiful and powerful. And
Yes.
we are so incredibly blessed to have the plant kingdom supporting us on
Yes,
this
we
journey through
are.
this lifetime.
Yes, we are. Thank you, Lupo. It's been wonderful having you here. And I just want to wrap up by just saying, please consider donating and consider contributing. This is a way that's very concrete to show love in action. And you know that's one of the credos of Two Crones and a Microphone. Thank you. Sending such love.
Thank you for having me.
Hi, if you're enjoying Two Crones and a Microphone, please like this video and hit the subscribe button. Enjoy timeless wisdom from modern times, all served up by women in the know.